So I have a little bit of University of Texas history to share with you today. As you might know, if you know me, I've written about the University of Texas and for the University of Texas for most of my career, and I've recently started becoming a bookseller. And this combines both of those things. I recently saw a bookseller called Tom Ailing talk about what makes a book valuable. It's not just rarity or scarcity, right? That's part of it that can make it valuable. But if that's the only thing, well, I wouldn't be a bookseller. I'd be a commodities trader. And I don't want to look at spreadsheets all day. I want to look at books. And the thing that makes them really interesting and historic beyond scarcity is the story behind them. A lot of times it has to do with maybe something that has damaged the book or they've written in it or whatever. Well, this is kind of an example of that. This is a biography of Harry Hunt Ransom. You might recognize that name from the Ransom Center in Austin at UT. That was his brainchild. He was an English professor who rose to become the chancellor of the UT system in the late 60s, early 70s, around the time that Frank Irwin was the chancellor. And this was a tumultuous time for most public universities, and especially UT. This has happened many times over the history of Texas. Happened in the 30s, happened in the late 60s, early 70s to Harry Hunt Ransom, happened in the early to mid 2000s when Bill Powers was president of UT, and it's happening right now as Governor Abbott pushes to not diversify our institutions, make it harder for foreign researchers to come here, make Texas less of an intellectual and technological destination, make it more skills-based, which is dumb because skills can become obsolete very easily and critical thinking cannot. And if we're thinking critically, we can think about why this book is so valuable. It's not because it's a $60, relatively uncommon, small-run academic biography of a major 20th century educator. It's because it was previously owned by John Maquetta. You can see his stamp there. A really cool, like, grading rubric. I've never seen that before, but it's cool that he had this stamp made, so he could just put it in the front of every book and give it a grade, and then he could just pull off the shelf and say, oh, this one was bad. Lousy. He literally says lousy is the low end. But anyway, I just thought that was so cool because John Maquetta is the namesake of the chemical engineering department at the University of Texas at Austin. He's a patron saint of chemical engineering, basically, and was a towering figure in that field, and of course was a UT Austin professor, a celebrated one. So this is the biography of a celebrated UT leader that was previously owned by a celebrated UT leader. And right now is a time where UT is under attack. I had the pleasure of interviewing our current governor 10 years ago when he was also our current governor. And he was promoting research and drawing researchers here to Texas, making it a destination, just like Harry Hunt Ransom wanted to. But I guess some people just don't read their history.